Hi, I'm Robert Begley with day 122 of my video challenge. What do you think I'm going to talk about today? Skyscrapers. As a lifelong New Yorker, skyscrapers were baked into my psyche. I'm so used to just walking around like this. But I'll never forget the first time I ever saw a skyscraper. I was coming out of the subway from the stinky, musty subway, holding my mother's hand. I was a little boy, and I saw this massive sheet of steel and glass, and I sprinted just to touch it. And I turned back and looked at her, and she had a big smile on her face. 'Cause that was one of the many things my mother and I bonded over, was a love of skyscrapers. Well, the greatest novel about skyscrapers, I'm still on my series of Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead, my favorite novel in history. And my favorite quote comes from the character Gail Wynand. He says, "I would give the greatest sunset in the world for one sight of New York's skyline, particularly when one can't see the details, just the shapes and the thought that made them. The sky over New York and the will of man made visible. When I see the city from my window, no, I don't feel how small I am, but I feel that if a war came to threaten this, I would like to throw myself into space over the city and protect these buildings with my body." Sadly, back on September 11th, 2001, I was right there in New York City when all of that happened. I was crushed. I spoke about that a couple of days ago, but the thing that really bothered me was the fact that, yes, the enemies knew what to do about New York. Let's hit a skyscraper. And in other words, the thing to value the highest. So, what about skyscrapers? Well, the Gail Wynand quote captures it. It's the heroic. It is the vision of individuals who choose to build this grand project that employs thousands of people, but architecture in general and skyscrapers in particular, they combine art, science, technology, and business. And it's a thing that has always distinguished New York from the 19th century. There's been the skyline, but especially the skyscrapers. And fortunately, where I am now in Orlando, we get to see both the skyline and beautiful sunsets. So I don't have to trade one in for the other. But if I did, I'd take the skyscraper. What are your thoughts on skyscrapers? We'll see you tomorrow with day 123 of the video challenge.